Okay, so the one thing we are missing on this pantry challenge is definitely snacks. And so what I came up with is I'm going to make a granola bar here. I just pulled together some ingredients that I have in the pantry, and I'm going to try and put together a granola bar so we'll have at least the beginnings of some snacks. I did make some chocolate chip cookies already, but we don't have any chips or pretzels, the typical snack things. So I'm going to try and make a few things that are snacks for us. All right. So we're going to start with some honey. Well, you know what? Let me tell you what the ingredients are first. Like I have some old-fashioned oats here. I have some honey, some peanut butter. I have some coconut, sweetened coconut flakes. And then I have some mini chocolate chips right there. I'm standing these up on something so I don't have a mess with them falling all over the place. So let me start. I'm going to start with probably a cup of honey because like when you set something like a granola bar, sugar, like this liquid sugar or honey, it doesn't exactly firm up. So I'm just only going to use a cup of honey. You know what? This is going to take forever. So I think I'm just going to take the top off. I'm standing there squeezing this stuff. About to give me carpal tunnel. All right, there we go. That works better. So I'm going to pour in about a cup of honey. And I do have my measuring cup here in the bottom of the bowl so that I don't make a mess. Okay, there we go. Let me get the top on this because open jar of honey is just asking for trouble. So there we go. So I've got this cup of honey here. I'm just gonna dump that into the bottom of the bowl. I'm gonna use this to kind of scrape out the rest of it. I really should have sprayed some cooking spray in here and all of it would have just come out all at one time. I wasn't thinking about that, but the next time I'll do it. There we go. There we go. Set that right there. Then I'm gonna put a bit more peanut butter, then honey, so that I can get these to set. Oh, look how nice that is. It's not even touched. That's pretty. There we go. So I'm gonna get like I'm gonna eyeball this AV and have it be, that's probably like half a cup. So I'm gonna see if I can get down in here. Scoop out a bit more peanut butter. Another half cup. Okay, try one more time. And that should be about a cup and a half. I got it. That should be about a cup and a half of peanut butter. You okay? My husband thought I was going to drop it. And actually I almost did. I got it though. I can always count on him to be there for me when I need help. Okay. I think that's good. Now I'm just going to scrape this off right here. There we go. Now I'm going to set that right there too. Move that over. Whew, my hair almost got in the way. All right, so I'm going to mix this with a hand mixer to kind of get things sort of whipped up and going really nice. And we'll see what we end up with. It's just on two to try and whip this together first. First, I just want to blend it together. You know, just try and blend it together. There we go. Okay, now I'm gonna up the speed and see if I can get it sort of whipped. There we go. Okay, that looks pretty good. That looks pretty good. Okay, so look at that. Looks pretty thick, nice and good. Now I have 3 cups of oats here. Okay, so I'm gonna just start to put in a bit of the oats, and then I'm gonna try and mix this in and see. Oh, okay. I thought it would be harder to do, but I see since I whipped it, it's got a smoother texture. Oh, that's nice. Thought this would be a bit harder because this is very thick, but no, that looks good. So I'm going to put the rest of the oats in. And what we're going to try and do is make sure that all of the oats are sort of coated in this peanut butter and honey mixture. I'm using my spatula. I'm afraid I might break my spatula, but it's actually holding its own quite nicely here. Trying to get all of the oats mixed in with this peanut butter and honey. So far, so good. Okay. All right. Then I'm going to sprinkle in a bit of coconut. Oh, okay, that's enough. That's enough. Sprinkle in a bit of coconut. Okay, now she getting thick. Now she thick. Now she getting real thick. Okay, this is not going to work because of the plastic. It's giving. So I'm going to just try and use my wooden spatula there. Okay, let me try and hold on to this bowl. Okay, there we go. Okay, that's our dog. She's standing guard. Probably heard the bowl banging on the counter. And now I'm going to sprinkle in some mini chocolate chips. I think the mini chocolate chips are better than the large chocolate chips because you're not biting into like a huge chunk of chocolate while you're trying to eat your granola bar. Okay, now she real thick. I gotta lean in on this. Okay, whew. This is giving me a workout. Okay, let me flip this way and get this all mixed in here. Trying to get down to the bottom. Ooh, you need a little bit of elbow grease with this one. Here we go. There we go. Okay. Whew, got it. to the bottom. All right, looks like I've gotten them sort of blended in pretty well. They could probably use a little bit more, but that's sort of what I'm going with there. Okay. Looks good. All right, so now what I'm getting ready to do is I'm going to put them in this 8x8 dish here and sort of try and flatten them out. Let me scrape everything down. I think I lost a chip. Can't have that. Can't lose a chip. So I'm going to see if I can. Yeah, there we go. Use the bowl to sort of get that whole thing in there. Just a little bit left, but that's all right. Oh, look at that. She's thick. Scrape this off. Scrape that side off. And just try and press this in here. Now these are going to be sort of sizable, you know. They're not going to be like the small skinny ones. So,
because they're homemade.
My husband thinks it's like, because they're homemade. And you know what? It's pretty easy, you know. You just have to have a little bit of wrist here to try and get this stuff in here. There we go. Spread out really well, like that. Spread out pretty well. There we go. Try and lay down these humps here. All right, that looks pretty good. So now I'm going to get another piece of plastic wrap, put it over the top, and put them in the refrigerator. Stick it, slide it over. And there we go. Put this in the refrigerator, let that kind of firm up, and then we're going to cut them into bars. You know, look at that. Nice. All right, granola bars. All right, guys, this is the second part to the granola bars. Now, I had pressed them in an 8x8 and put them in the refrigerator overnight, but they're still too soft. Like, can you show them, honey, like when you lift up the sides? You see what I'm saying? Like, they're still too chewy. And I guess that is part of a granola bar, but but I wanted to make sure that they were, I wanted to make sure that we could cut them in the bars and just eat them like that. And to me, they're still too soft. I think it's too much honey in there. Like maybe I just needed a half a cup of honey and then the cup and a half of peanut butter. That would have allowed it to set up better, because sugar doesn't really set up even in cold, you know, like that, like honey, not sugar, but honey doesn't really set up like that. So what we decided to do was turn these into energy balls. So we're going to cut these into, you know, squares, roll them into balls, and then we're going to dip them in the coconut flakes here and make them into energy balls, and then just, you know, have them set over here. So that's what we're going to do with these. We're just going to turn the fail into a flex, and keep it moving. All right, so now what we're doing is just cutting these into strips. Now they are thick. It's not like they aren't thick or anything, but to me, I'm like, I wanted them to at least be able to hold up just a little bit better. So they still taste great. They taste great. They have they have coconut flakes, mini chocolate chips, oats, honey, and peanut butter in them. So these are all just typical pantry ingredients that I have in the house. And so maybe not the coconut, but definitely the honey and the peanut butter and the chocolate chips. So these are just like typical pantry staples for us. So we're going to cut these in the strips and then cut the strips into small squares and roll them into balls and then press them in the coconut flakes.